Awesome.
And this is, like I said, we invited a bunch of people. I think a lot of people are going to actually watch the recording more than actually be in it. So, we already got the interview questions. I'm going to start with the interview questions. And as for everyone else, I'm going to silence everyone else except you and myself. And I'll add a section where we'll be able to, people will be able to ask you questions near the end of the actual interview part. So, all right. Well, you know what? I'm going to start up really right off the top. I'd love to hear your history. I mean, you're one of the top guns. So, how long have you been as a RAZE ambassador?
I first got into it probably the first week of June of 2020. So it has only 5 months, 6 months. Opened up. Let's see. I first started doing the. I'm not a gamer or any. I do it for fun or like that, but I don't do like all the video stuff and streaming and all that. In fact, I don't think I remember last time I actually played a video game. To be honest, but so the code thing really just wasn't working. So I decided to, like I said, there was nowhere around me that was selling it in stores. And so I contacted them to Reap Sports and talked to, I talked to Cody, talked to Talmadge, and eventually got with Lex. And they said, hey, let's rock and roll with it. This is what we have. We have the Hustler Packs. And then I opened up my first store, took it on June the 12th was my first store to take RAZE.
You started in June 12th. Is that when you officially was an ambassador, or you were there, or you've been there longer?
I was officially an ambassador, I believe, like the first week of June. I don't know like the official date, but it was like that first week of June. So yeah.
Wow, so that's pretty quick. I think Tyler was the same situation. It was relatively quick that you guys just right off the bat just start running. I think I started in July, August.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And yeah, I was just excited to be an insider, to suddenly get to get the swag, to and I'm just a swag whore. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Anything that's a free promo, hey, sure, I want it. If it's free, give me 3. Okay.
Yes.
But I suddenly realized, oh my God, what an incredible product. I mean, have you tried the new whey powder?
Yes, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I've actually only used, I guess, since I really got heavy into health and fitness, probably, I guess, about the same time, when I didn't realize they had like all their other, supplement lines like that. But I only use the supplement products that that RAZE has through Reap Sports. So I love the peanut butter. In fact, I mixed it with the chocolate, and it was really good. And then I went a little crazy and mixed it with the Tropic O's, and it was like mixing. Man, it was, I don't know really what it was like. It was really good. It was hard to explain, but I really enjoyed mixing those two flavors together as well. So,
yeah, I only got like 1 packet left because I was mixing the protein powder with almond milk, and then I threw in iced coffee as well, and it was just out of control. It was incredible, and I'm really excited when it actually comes out. And now I'm like, oh, I probably should try the other protein powders as well.
The Tropic O's taste like a like Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops. So if you are a kid at heart and love those type of fruity type cereals, that's perfect for you. The vanilla cone is a good vanilla to it. Chocolate O, same thing, good chocolate. And then the funnel cake, it's not really a vanilla, but it's kind of almost has like a funnel cake, I guess, almost like a syrup kind of mix to it. It's almost like eating like pancakes in the morning. It's real good too. I mean, it's a little sweeter than what the vanilla is, but I still like it as well.
I've seen some people use a protein powder to make like waffles or something, or pancakes, or something like that.
Yes, yeah, and I haven't got that crafty yet, or have the time really in the morning to do all that. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I've seen a lot of people do that, and I'm going to try it and see if I can succeed in doing that. So
awesome. Now here's what do you think are the top 3 skills to be successful as a RAZE ambassador?
A lot of it's just, the number one is attitude. When it comes to, I mean, people who are attracted to people who have great attitudes. And it's like, okay, why does that person have a great attitude? What is it about them? So definitely attitude has always been something, when I go into, I talk to a store or I present RAZE to somebody, I always make sure I'm in a good attitude. You're not going to want to buy anything from anybody, be like, hey, how you doing? Do you want this? You got to have some excitement about you. You got to be excited about the product too. I mean, that's definitely, you got to believe in it. And I think that's where, a lot of times people who sell things, if they don't really believe in the product, they'll do okay because they have, I think sales is a gift. I don't think anybody else can just go out there and just sell. You can teach people how to sell, but to actually have the attitude behind it and everything with it, that's just stuff that just comes kind of naturally with people. But believing in the product, having a great attitude, and thirdly, it's after the sale is making sure you're still keeping that relationship with people. I learned that at one time. I was in the car business at one time, and I learned that you don't make very much money on the first person you sell to. Now, when that person brings a brother or sister or parent or somebody else as a family member, that's where you kind of make your money, because you treat that person so well and you kept up, you called them, make sure their car was doing good. And then the same aspect with this, whenever I still go visit these stores, even though I don't service as many as I used to, I still go and visit those stores and talk to those owners, and just making sure that things are going well with them. I think that's just part of building a brand and being ambassadors, their job is to build a brand. And I think sometimes we think so much about the money that we forget about what we're actually supposed to be doing. So.
Nice. Now you do have some sales background though, don't you?
Yes. I actually, well, if you want to go like deep into sales, I remember when I was like in 7th grade, I sold sugar cubes to kids. And so I would buy like them in a box for like 99 cents a piece for the box. And I turn around and break them down and sell them. As a kid, yes, I've always been able to sell, but professionally, I guess, as soon as I got out of high school, tried college, had a business professor to ask me why in the world I was even there. But then I was just like, well, what do you mean? He said, look, you're going to go make more money. Just, there's no point in you being here. So I went off and my parents didn't like it, went off and did what I needed to do. Got into, I did telemarketing. I've done door to door. I've done cars. I've done parts and service in a car, in the car industry. I've done scooters. When gas prices went to like $4 a gallon, I got in the scooter industry. And worked for a company and sold scooters, which was it was really fun because I got to travel in like 6 or 7 different states. I was a dealer rep. And so I would go and visit those states and just making sure, those dealerships were doing what they were supposed to be doing, making sure they didn't need anything. And, but yeah, and then I've worked in the grocery business as well. So I kind of got some background just because of the beverage. And then at one time, me and my wife actually owned our own business at one other time before, where I would go do, I would buy storage buildings, like the Storage Wars and things like that. I would actually go do that. And so,
Sweet.
Yeah, it was fun. In fact, Texas Storage Ward, Lisa Lewis, her store was right next door to mine there in Crockett. And so I had like 5 stores in East Texas, and we ended up selling those after my wife got out of college and got her master's. And so, yeah, I do have tons of sales background, I guess, and done a little bit of everything.
That's sweet. That's very profitable. So now, so you've been doing this since June. It's been about 6 months. You've gone through the pandemic. We've gone through political turmoil, and we've gone through a lot of crazy stuff the last 6 months. Now, if you were to go back in time and go back into the past, or advise beginners, what would you do differently now? Now, knowing what you know now.
I think I would have started it sooner, or tried to find a way to start it sooner. Some of these guys, RAZE has been around since, what was it, 2 years now, I believe. And so, it's like, man, if I would have got that like 2 years ago, how much more could I have done? How much more, in that aspect. But heck, even just, that ad came across Facebook probably at the beginning of May, if not, April, and so seeing it seems like, whatever, this is just another, scam type thing, like a lot of people think. And I was like, you know what, forget it. If it is $20, I'm out $20. Who cares? I got some birthday money. So let me just do it and see how it goes from there. And so yeah, I kind of wish that I would started it sooner than what I did, for sure.
Okay, so basically, you got to break down your advice is start now, start yesterday.
Oh yeah, of course, most definitely. And the company has gotten, and people think like this, like RAZE and Reap Sports is like this huge company, and they're really not, but they're growing so fast. I mean, you look at the insiders and the ambassador. Hey, I put this order in. It's been 3 weeks. Well, okay, we're sorry. They're trying to get as fast as they possibly can go, and I know it's probably has blown all their minds, away, and trying to figure out, okay, can we keep up in 2021, especially with all the acquisitions that's going on, and gonna go on the rest of this year, and I truly believe in 2022, RAZE will be a household name, believe it or not. So
And we're on the ground floor, so that's pretty
exactly.
exciting.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy because you're like, oh yeah, I mean, no matter where it goes in the future, be like, yeah, I brought RAZE to East Texas. So it's like, like I help build something, and I love to build, I love to create things. It's fun, and especially new things. And I've never been in the beverage industry before like this, and I'm having a lot of fun doing what I'm doing.
That's sweet. Now, all right, I'm gonna get to the numbers now because I'm more of an analyst. I can pretty much do it all, but I'm more of an analyst at the end of the day. So I gotta ask you, what do you think your conversion rate is? And let me define that for our viewers, as in how many people do you contact before someone says yes, and how many of those yeses do you convert into an actual sale? I mean, I may have even skipped a couple steps. I mean, you explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Okay.
What's your conversion rate?
I got you. The first 6 stores I approached, 5 of them said yes. And they had been continuing customers. The 6th store, the only reason he told me no was because he, in fact, I got to go visit with him because I haven't had time to, but the only reason why is he doesn't like doing like a small person, like a single owner distribution part, because he goes, look, I'm gonna put you on the shelf, but then what happens in 3 months, you go bankrupt or whatever, you don't do it no more. Here, I just gave you this, product and stuff, and nobody. So I need to go visit with him because now R&K distribution is taking over. I need to let him know. But yeah, I mean, that was right there. Let's see here. I've had a lot of people at first tell me no, but come to find out it wasn't like a no, like, no, we're not going to take the product. It was no, like a not right now type deal. So I've had somewhere in a couple, like within a month or two, they said yes, or I found a way to say, okay, if is it space? Is that the issue? And they're like, yes, space is the issue. Okay, what can I do to bring, can I bring a cooler, can I bring a tub or something in here? Or how about, can I buy, what we call suction cup door, where you put them on the inside of the doors? And they're like, yeah, that would work great. Okay, boom. And then I would get a yes in that. So my conversion rate, if you take all those things into it's pretty high. I mean, I would say at least 80 to 85%. And even what I'm doing now with them, it's still about that high. I very rarely have anybody just tell me no straight off hand. Because in sales, I've always known there's only one thing I cannot get past, and it's I don't have the money. Well, these people have the money. So it's just trying to find a way to get past all the other things. Like I don't have room, or it's not, I can't implement in the set because our set's done by so-and-so, like a company. I just have to find ways to get around those things. And a lot of times, like I said, that no at first is just a lot of times it's not right now. I had one guy who said yes on his first store, but then he said no on his other 3 because he wanted to see how it did. I said, well, what do I have to do to get that store, to get you in the other 3 stores? He said, if you're averaging a case a month on the flavor, a case or 2 cases a month on flavor, he said, I'll put you in my other stores. Done. I ran a 2 for $4 sale. I did a promotion with where each customer who bought a can of RAZE got put in a drawing. Whoever won that drawing won 3 cases of RAZE for free. I also did a promotion with the cashiers of that place that whoever sold the most, got a $50 gift card, Visa gift card. So I just found ways to boost the sales in that area. And then as soon as that was done, I said, hey, check your sales. He's like, there's no way. I said, check them. Well, sure enough, he checked them and he put me in his other 3 stores. So, and those other 3 stores are flying off the shelf too, because then what I'll do, and I tell customers, this is what I do. I'll run Facebook ads in a store. If a store's not selling really well, I'll run a Facebook ad and say, hey, get your RAZE energy drinks here. Or I'll take samples to say like a nursing home or a school. And because teachers love energy drinks, nurses love energy drinks. And when they find that they like them and the flavor and how it makes them not have the crash and they get this long thing, well, then they say, well, where'd you get this at? Oh, you can go buy it at this store. And then all of a sudden those stores, their sales start increasing. So it's just trying to think outside the box. And that's how you get more yeses, because then you go to another store and say, hey, look, this store is selling 10 or 12 cases a month. They are. Yes. Oh, okay. Let's try them in our store. So you kind of use them against each other. And at the same time, you're going to lose a little bit because you're giving samples out. But in the long run, I mean, you think about it, like that one store where I did all that promotion and stuff in, I was able to get in 3 more stores, and they took a case of each flavor. Not only that, that store people were buying because they tried it is averaging. In fact, I got to deliver them tomorrow. They're averaging 8 to 10 cases a week to 2 weeks in that one store. So they're doing probably 30 cases a month in that one store. So just by me spending probably like $100 out of my pocket, it got me, a huge amount of profit in the long run. So
awesome. Now, so do you use a script or how do you approach a new client?
Okay, this is where it's kind of a little different. Now, you talking about like if I just go into a store, because is that what you're talking about? Like when I walk into a store?
Yeah, like, hello,
okay.
Mr. So and so.
Okay.
How is your evening?
Yeah.
And
what
you
I
have
do
2
is
employees.
yeah, I got you. What I do is it's real quick, and I'll just use you, Mr. Chen. And I say I'll just walk in and say, who do I need to speak to about bringing a new product in the store? And of course, they're like, well, what's the product? Or they'll give me the person who I need to talk to. And so I have my little black portfolio type thing, and I open and say, hi, my name is Ryan Mason. I gave him my card. I said, I'm Ryan Mason. I'm a distributor for RAZE Energy. It's a new energy drink. I'm bringing it to East Texas. And I said, in your area, I said, I've already got a couple stores that's already doing them. It's doing good. Here's the flyer, the little sales flyer thing that we get. I give it to them. I use my pen. I point out a couple things showing about what's great about the product. For example, the same caffeine, the no crash, the low sodium, things like that, the no sugar, things I know can catch their attention. Then I say, you know what? How about this? I got some samples. I'll be right back. And I just leave. I'll leave all my stuff right there. I'll go grab the samples and I give them to them and said, here you go. Give these to customers. See what they think. I'll talk to you in about a week, and see what kind of feedback you can get. And they're like, and I've just literally just given them so much information in a sense, because they'll ask me questions like, oh, how much does it cost? Okay. I sell them for $18 a case. Now, I know people sell them for more, and that's fine. But there was 2 reasons why I kind of went to $18 a case. For one, after I met with Joe and Lex about doing the distribution part, that was the price they told me. And there's a reason for that. Distributors, when a distribution comes in, that's the price they're going to sell them for. So here I've built this relationship with people, and say if I was selling them to them for $24 a case, which I could have done easily. If I sold them for $24 a case, and then another distributor comes in and buys me out and says, well, we're going to sell it to you for 18, that makes it look like I just made just silly amount of money off of them, So that relationship that I built with them has pretty much just gone away, because they're thinking this guy just made an extra $8 a case. Heck, he's bringing in, 10 cases. He's made 80 extra bucks on me. Then, so it just kind of puts a bad taste in people's mouths in that sense. So, and then also just building the brand and building the product. And when it comes to distribution, you've got to have sales. I mean, the more you sell, the more you make, obviously. But yeah, and so that's all I really do. I just kind of show them a couple of the flavors. After I leave, I write who I talked to, let know how the conversation went, just kind of as a refresher. And then I'll even write down a note or two about, because sometimes you get people who are talking, they'll tell you things, like, oh yeah, my dog, died last week, my family's going on vacation in a couple days, so I'll give these out to my employee, or, well, I don't know if I could talk to you next week because, I had one of my ladies, one lady, her husband has been ill, and so he's been taken to the doctor. So I won't be here next week, but can you come by Friday? I'll be back Friday. I got to take him to the doctor. So then as soon as I come back in again and say, hey, just trying to see how thing is. Hey, by the way, how they do too? And then how's your husband? How was your vacation? And I build that rapport with them thinking, hey, I'm here not only just to sell them a drink, but to build a relationship with them too. So pretty much I just put them in their hands. I really don't give them a chance to tell me no. I want them to give them samples out. I had one guy, this was funny. I walked in one place after a week and he didn't give them out as samples. He sold them. And I'm like, man, those are supposed to, I said, how are they? Yeah, they do okay. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, well, they're in the cooler. And I said, you're selling them? He goes, yeah. And I was like, sir, those were samples that you're supposed to give to people. He said, yeah, but I want some. And I was like, okay. So, end up selling him some more. But I was just like, the whole point of that was to give out to people for free. And I think that's what the key is, when it comes to this is pointing out a good couple points that you feel comfortable telling people. The same caffeine as Bang, the time release caffeine, so it lasts longer. And those two are always the biggest ones. The low sodium is a big one too. The no sugar, no calories, all that fun stuff. Because this line is, we all know, like there's so many companies coming out there with these drinks. You got to have something unique. And I think with RAZE, the fact that the caffeine is what's perfect for it, and the fact that it's a time release. There's other time release, but it doesn't have as much caffeine. And so I think that, just mainly those two concepts when you approach people is what's going to do it. So that's how I did it when I reached the store. Now, I do something a little different now because there's a distributor that's came in and bought pretty much the whole area of East Texas and things like that. In fact, there's 4 distributors in Texas now, which is amazing and wonderful. Now I do something a little different. I will look up a county, like take my county, for example. I live in Shelby County. I will look up all the cities in that county, and then I'll Google all the gas stations and convenience stores in that county. I get on the phone, hi, this is Ryan Mason. I want to introduce you to RAZE Energy. It's a new energy drink product. We've already got a distributor in your area that carries the energy drinks. Is this something that you might be interested in taking a look at and checking out inside your store? And they're like, well, what's so special about it? And then I tell them, hey, 300 milligrams caffeine, same as Bang and Rain. It's got time release. We've already got it in these areas already. And they'll ask what case cost is. And I tell them, hey, look, I said, as far as I know, I said, I believe it's $18 a case, but you're going to have to get you a distributor to make sure that's the same pricing. And they're like, well, who's my distributor? Oh, it's R&K. Oh, okay. That's Jerry. Jerry's my salesman. Oh, great. Well, then as soon as they tell me that, I said, well, look, I'll get with Jerry and tell him to make sure he stops by and brings you some information and stuff. It will be good from there. And so then that's what I do in situations like that. So a little bit different, but it's easier to close. So
awesome. Now, when you give a sample, what flavors do you typically give?
One of each.
Okay, so it's literally a case of so you give them everything. All right.
Yes, sir.
What do you see as the top sellers, the top flavors?
Sour Gummy, Baja, and Galaxy Burst. Then you have Voodoo kind of right there, and then a tie between Apollo and Phantom.
Okay. Now, what would you say, and you don't have to tell me, but what would you say is your number one secret to your success?
The fact that, oh gosh, my number one secret to my success would be it's the small things that I do each and every day. I think and being grateful for having the opportunity of doing stuff like this. Gratitude is probably the number one biggest secret that I think a lot of people don't realize that they have. And I think because of that, I don't know what people believe or things like that, but in my beliefs, and I think that's one reason why I continue to be successful is because I'm very grateful for the things that I have. So that's my biggest thing. I mean, the first thing I do is wake up in the morning is I write 10 things I'm grateful for. And obviously the first one being alive. I mean, there's some people who are going to wake up that are not going to have the opportunity, or that the fact that my family wakes up alive and they're healthy, especially just in these times right now. I mean, more so than anything else, I think this is a great time to be grateful for what you have. And I mean, you think about it, there's a lot of people out there who are not able to go out there and work right now. Be grateful that you have what you have, whether it's $7.25 an hour, or the fact that you still get to go up and go work a full-time job and keep your job, So yeah, I think just the gratitude aspect of it is huge.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I mean, it's some scary times right now, and some of us are very fortunate. I mean, I count myself very fortunate. And as you said, we're ambassadors, and this is not necessarily a money-making opportunity, but there are opportunities to make money.
Oh yeah, of course, most definitely. I mean, and I was able to make enough to pay for my daughter's graduating high school this year. I was able to make enough to pay for her cap and gown and a lot of her graduation stuff, which we all know, for those who have kids graduating, that stuff ain't cheap. And so it's definitely, I was able to kind of buy some things like that, and where normally I would have to try to figure out ways to get around it, or rob from Peter to pay Paul in a sense. But yeah, it was nice that I didn't have to worry about those things because of that.
That's awesome. I'm looking at my remaining time. I have less than 7 minutes.
I know.
So I'm hitting QA. I see Charles is here. I'm gonna unmute him. So this is a chance for Charles if he has any questions for you too. Let's see. All right, there's Charles.
I've already talked to him once before.
Yeah, me and Charles, we had a phone conversation yesterday. Day before
Okay.
yesterday.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
It was very enlightening of the information that you shared with me and stuff.
Well, thank you.
All right,
And that's why I'm here is I don't mind giving any information away for free at all. I mean, I don't, that's what it's about. I mean, like I said, the more that people talk about it, the more they go in gas stations and talk to people about it, the more the brand is just going to grow. I think it's changed a lot since in the past 6 months, especially since, we've had Patrick now, we've got Elias, we've got Griff, who are handling key accounts. All three of those guys came from, I know 2 of them came from Bang. I'm not sure about Elias, but I know Griff and Patrick both came from Bang, and they have a lot of connections. So when I'm saying that we're going to see RAZE a lot more in 2022. I mean, you look at what's already going on in the Dutchess stores, the fact that QT is about to get them, the come and goes. Personally, I've worked and met with a grocery chain already, and a bunch of other smaller gas stations and things like that. And so, it's growing, and it's going to grow. I think in the Midwest right now, and then toward East, it's going to explode this year. And then I think out West in California and Tyler's area, I think it's going to explode within 2022. And so, I do know, like, there's one company that if we would have had enough distributors set up for them, they would have said yes. And so it's just, Joe and Lex are working all those right now, with Bang becoming their own distribution, Red Bull starting to pull their distributions from places. You're going to start seeing RAZE and a lot more major distributions already. In fact, the DFW one was a Red Bull distributor, and now they're RAZE. So we didn't have one for DFW. Now that we do, it's going to explode in that area too. So I'm really excited about it as well.
Oh, here's a question for you, and this is what I see as a potential challenge. Now, if I were to try to sell the product, and they say to me, "Well, why should I go through you when I can go directly through Rep Sports?" How do you respond to that?
Well, a lot of times people just don't know the process of how, go directly through that. A lot of people don't want to handle that situation. Most gas station owners or most people are so busy running their business. Like if they order the product and they sell it at their store, say for example, I own a store, well then if it goes out of date or damaged, I got to pay for it. Whereas a distributor or a DSD, when they go and put the product, if it's damaged, you can get like say like 12 cans get destroyed. Well, they just bring in a case and they do a swap. So you're not out any money in that. So that's the benefit of having a distribution and things like that, or have a distributor come in and take care of those products and stuff. It's a lot easier and it's a lot less, headache when it comes to worry about dates and things like that. Because you really, gas stations, pretty much you have your two checkout people and a manager a lot of times. So they don't have time to go check dates and do all that stuff. So
I'm running into these gas stations, not just as the ambassador, but really a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For sure.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we got all the questions covered. I really want to thank you, Ryan, because, a couple of months back, I'm looking back, I'm seeing you and Tyler and a couple of other people. Everyone's been really friendly. I love the RAZE culture and what I call the RAZE tribe. We're all part of the tribe. And you got the gamers, you got streamers, we got the athletes, and we got literally a culture of individuals. And everyone's extremely helpful. And, I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I'm like, man, Ryan, Tyler, those guys, whenever people are asking questions, they're there to answer the questions. And, like Justin, he's like the official cheermeister, okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Justin. I think what Justin's doing is amazing. He doesn't really go off and sell things, but he still continues to approach, his working out and things like that just helps pushes people, and, each person about our, in this group, it's crazy how one thing can bring a lot of people together. I think that our country needs to take some people in our country need to maybe take some notes from what RAZE is doing, and bringing so many people together in an amazing way, and it's fun, and you're meeting a lot of new people, and it's just great. I really enjoy it. So
I absolutely agree. Well, all right, I guess we are ending this meeting here. Ryan, again, thanks a lot. The next time we talk, I got to ask you about this secret society within RAZE. I hear the top ambassadors have secret meetings, so we got to talk about that. The Illuminati, the RAZE Illuminati.
Well, I don't know what meetings or somebody say anything that we're meeting, but I do know that a lot of the meetings I have are just with stores, and Joe and Lex are there. So, but yeah, that's all I have given permission to say. Just put it that way. So
I know, but now the RAZE ninjas are going to go after Tyler because where my connection is, where I'm talking to.
Oh yeah.
All right, Ryan, thank you for this evening. Thank you for all the help. I'm going to get back to you because I'm going to have a ton of questions too. So I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful evening. And, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Good night.